Hello, I'm David Kenny, aka Mr. Awesome 300. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the one place in Elden Ring people don't want to go to. That place is Caelid, east of Limgrave. You can always go there early for a good rune acquisition, which I'll be talking about later in another video, because that's in another area. But right now, we're going to talk about part one of Caelid, a place filled with wildlife from hell. Like giant dogs, giant crows, enemies you don't want to meet. There's also kindred of rot there, aka pests that spew threads at you that are kind of hard to dodge and require good timing. What reason for this? Because of a big swamp that I'm going to be talking about at the end of this video is filled with rot. Pools of it. But for now, let's talk about the other locations of this region from hell. And that would be, and we're going to be starting with Caelium Ruins. At the beginning of Caelid, not at the very beginning, I'll get to that in a sec. These ruins house two mad pumpkin heads at the basement. Before you get there, though, you have to face flame chariots and burning putrid corpses, the latter of which explode near you. Just letting you know. Now, the Mad Pumpkinheads have each two different weapons. One is the chain link flail, which I kind of talked about in Limgrave, and the other is an unobtainable hammer. Now, if you defeat both of them, you get this, the Visage Shield. It's a shield that has the face of a flame chariot, which is a machine, like I just mentioned, with the face of a fire giant. Served as a reminder of the horror of facing one of these in real life. And I got spoilers for you. Near the end of the game, you will have to do just that. Just letting you know. Anyway, now on to the very beginning. This is the Shack of the Rotting. All it gets is just some boluses to cure your rot. And there are a bunch of putrid corpses nearby. Or should I say, rotten corpses, because they produce rot. Nearby is a carriage filled with those dogs that I talked about. If you defeat them, you get the gut sword, or should I say great sword. Most people say gut sword. Anyway, before you even get to that, there's this smoldering church at the, barrier between Limgrave and Caelid. It's a church on fire. A butcheress who goes by the name of Anastasia awaits your arrival. And I got spoilers for you. You'll have to face her twice later on. One on Mount Gelmir and the other at the optional consecrated snowfield. Now, if you defeat her this first time, just so you know, she has a huge knife that you'll get after her second encounter. If you defeat her this first time, though, you will be rewarded with this Sacred Scorpion Charm. It increases holy-based attacks by 8%. It also reduces damage negotiation. That's a downside. Anyway. Nearby is the Minor Erdtree of Caelid. After you defeat some Erdtree Guardians, you come across a Putrid Avatar. These are just like regular Erdtree avatars, but after every stomp or butt stomp, it spews the scarlet rot. AKA toxic if you're a Soulsborne veteran, aka faster poison. It also likes to spam this attack called Golden Land, where it stomps and numerous holy projectiles are coming at you. I'm just letting you know. And as I said before, defeating Erdtree avatars give you crystal tears for your Flask of Wondrous Physic, aka upgrades to your concoction. Anyway, still in the beginning, we have the Forsaken Ruins. Ruins at the bottom of the Shack of the Rotting, guarded by huge crows. Just so you know, these can fake a stagger. Don't get fooled. These crows can nip you up for some serious damage. Don't, please don't get fooled. Just so you know, some people do that. Anyway, after you get a stone sword key, which by the way is what you need for C to unlock secrets, you can go to the underground part of these ruins, where the Sword of St. Trina awaits you. It'll send enemies to take a little nap after enough damage. The reason for this nap? It produces sleep. Sleep is another attribute. Makes you actually drowsy. And guess what? In the DLC there's an upgrade. Just letting you know, called Eternal Sleep. I believe that is self-explanatory, but I'll tell you anyway. Your weak enemies are asleep forever. Now then. Descending into Caelid, we come across Fort Gale. It's overlooking Limgrave, and it's guarded by Radahn's forces. General Radahn, to be precise. As at Redmane Castle at the end of Caelid, there's a festival held by him. I'll be talking more about that place when we get to the mini Legacy Dungeon video. Anyway, here you can come across some good items. But first you have to come across Radahn's forces, which include a knight archer that produces these rain of arrows. Rain of Arrows is an ash of war that allows you to, in one direction, rain arrows from above. That's what this knight does. Anyway, the items you can seek are as follows. The Qatar. It's a tiny little dagger that can be paired up in both hands. And, fun fact, I believe this is real life. But I'm not going to get into that much detail about that. Just letting you know, you can go and get in the fort, there's a chest that contains this. Just letting you know. Now, a Lion Guardian is in the fort, too. If you defeat it, you get this useful familiar Ash of War. If you're a Soulsborne veteran, that is. You may have heard it from Artorias. Seen it from Artorias, where you spin and stomp your sword. And in the DLC, you get to do it twice via the Ash of War known as Savage Lion's Claw. Anyway, at the back, behind the fort, that's guarded by putrid corpses and 2 flame chariots, is Flame Grant Me Strength. It buffs your physical and fire attacks. And according to lore, it's against the Giant's Flames law, or as I call it, to cast it. But do you know why it is forbidden? It doesn't burn you. Although, I'm not so sure, considering whenever I do it, I get burned visually. Just letting you know. And lastly, at the top of the fort, where a knight resides, after you beat him, you get the Star Scourge heirloom. I have it in my lineup. This is a talisman predicting Radahn crushing the very stars, earning his name Star Scourge. It increases strength, allowing you to have your hands on heavier weapons early without, leveling up, you're maxing out your strength. Now, continuing further south of Caelid is the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. I mentioned this before when we talked about those dragons that have unlockable powers. Incantations. The rest of them are sold along with the boss dragons throughout the lands between. After you defeat them, that is. In fact, one of these dragons is near the place. But before I do that, I want to talk about the most useful of these new incantations. Rotten Breath allows you to spew Scarlet Rot. It's the most popular. But there are others, but I don't know why it's so popular. Speaking of Rotten Breath, here's a Rotten Dragon nearby. This is Decaying Exyx. He has succumbed to the rot, as evidenced by his visual appearance, and and even above the ground, he can spew it. He can also stomp his feet. That can also spew it. Now, the reason for all this rot is the Swamp of Aeonia, a monumental battle between Radon and Melania, in which the former got infected with the rot, and spoiler alert, when you fight him, he'll still be like that, like a feral beast, and only the few of the latter's soldiers fled back to their base at the Haligtree. And you know why Melania came back? A renowned spirit ash that is obtained at the Haligtree will tell you. But it's kind of good. You don't want to miss it. But there's some other things here that I want to talk to you about first. Just so you know, between this huge swamp, we have giant land squirts that spew rot, giant dragonflies, and those soldiers that I mentioned that are known as Clean Rot Knights. These are Melania's Praetorian Guard that have two weapons, a spear that can, cast a phalanx, and a halo scythe which can produce a ring of light that can hurl at you like a discus. You never know which one they'll get. Oh, and one more thing, they can also puke rot. Anyway, there are scarabs here too. One invisible one grants you this poison armament. You can coat your weapon with poison. That allows you to, cast poison. But there are also ruins in this rotten swamp. The Street of Sages ruins, filled with rot. There's also an invader there, and I'll be talking more about her next week when we deal with part 2 of Caelid. Anyway, but she's kind of hard, as I almost died to her during the first and only time I fought her as an invader. She also has a quest line that I'm currently progressing in, just so you know. But the loot there, the meteorite staff. Gravity sorcery's power increases, but it can't be upgraded. I also know that it's a good mid-game choice. But what gravity sorcery, you may ask, is with it? Or are there any other gravity sorceries in nearby? The answer is this. Rock Sling. Taught to Radon by an Alabaster Lord, because that's who his master was. Allows you to throw 3 rocks and fling it at your enemies. Now the last thing I'm going to talk to you about this week is the Commander O'Neill. The sole surviving witness of that battle still commands his phantom soldiers, exiled to be precise. There's another commander at the mountaintops of the Giants, which, by the way, is an obstacle for you to get to the Haligtree, by the way. Anyway, the point is this. You can pierce him and his soldiers, and he'll also be doing a buff by the name of the Commander Standard, aka a flag. It's also a spear, a unique ability that buffs and protects you and your allies. He could also use it there too, with his own. Now, I know that we haven't gotten to one big familiar place here yet, but here is the gist. I'll talk about it next week, and that place is Celia, a town of sorcery and magic. Until then, please like and subscribe, and click the notification bell as to when I upload next. Until then, so long, bye.